Let us start then. So, on my end of things, standard, just been, uh, crunching away at the bestiary, working on the equipment guide still. But there are some things outside of that that I've been doing as well. Namely, I have updated and gone through the reputation system that we had in peer review. Kind of spruced it up a bit, gave it a bit more structure. Which I'll post a link of that in just a second. Let me go and change this to Firefox for the recording so it doesn't show the link. And I'll be posting that into general. That is not the share link. It's fine. I will have to cut that out of this recording. Oh well. There we go. That's the proper link. So this system itself, as per the old system, it was a work in progress. Has two different versions. It has influence, which is like influence on a region, things such as, oh, you helped with this faction, so they boost your reputation with them, or you fuck them over, so you get negative points towards them. You can potentially use that resource of influence to provide certain things. The values for those activities that you can use it for, those are very much a baseline understanding. We needed to place the numbers a bit more and get with can't think of the word, political, to kind of see how best to fit it in to their systems as well. But overall, it is an overarching system that can be used and tweaked to fit our needs. Has some examples of how to gain it, how to lose it, how to gain the downtime activities or quests and whatnot, what it can be used for. And then there's the other one, which is Prestige, which we already have some things that kind of mark what you can do with that for, such as training rules or prestige classes and things of that nature. This goes into what prestige is, how to gain it, certain things that might affect that, what you can spend it on, what it might be useful for, and things of that nature. Goes through the main ways of gaining it, which for the most part is through leveling up, through defeating prestigious creatures, or through completing prestigious milestones and quests. And then it goes through like mechanical effects, such as like making your own custom origin or something like that. Most of these prices are pretty high up there, which will help mitigate our workload, especially since prestige is not going to be as common as influence gain. But it's another thing that can be provided to players. At the very bottom, though, because both of these systems, both influence and prestige, can alter the way NPCs react with someone. For example, if someone has like a really high influence within a faction, NPCs there might treat them much more friendly than they would an outsider. There is the nom de plume little blurb at the bottom, which kind of needs political's eye, as they are the ones who are dealing with like disguises and whatnot. But essentially, if you are in your disguise, it applies to that disguise. Any prestige or influence gains applies to that disguise rather than your actual character. That's the overall system. It's got a lot of stuff to go through. Feel free to read it. I've scrolled through it for the stream, so for the recording, so it should be easy to just pause and look through it. Another big drops in terms of things I've been working on. I've been still steadily transferring the patrons to the World Anvil. I believe since we last spoke, there are 3 more up. Specifically, there's the Cult of the Solus, which is an Archmage patron known as a Debin. It's got a bunch of backstory stuff there. And there's Cult of the Magister, which is of Leon Tathis, another Archmage, a bunch of backstory stuff listed. And then there's Cult of the Guardian, which is a Celestial patron, goes into backstory. This one I kept a little lax in terms of story because they are actively being used in the campaign I'm running, and I don't want to give too much of the spoilery information on the page, at least not until it's revealed. But that's the major update on my end. Still working on some side things. Got some stuff up on World Anvil. Influence system has been made. Um, Trap system. I completely forgot about that. That one's still work in progress, but it's getting close to being completed. At the moment, players could use it to make custom traps, or DMs could use it to make custom traps. But it's definitely a work in progress.
The completion of initial influence and prestige is actually perfect, since the Eldaria factions have some stuff that could be directly done with influence instead of wrangling with modifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, both are ready to have their prototype descriptions and mechanics looked at. Still need to hammer out details, but you can review that whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Post them to Firehouse because I completely forgot, because I completely forgot already that I was supposed to give you that review. I check Firehouse often, so. Yeah. One of the other things, I've been working on the character sheet as well. Update it with the changes that influence and prestige and sanity scores need to be added in. Well, once that's done, character sheet should have no more updates going forward. It should be all set. But nearly done with it. Just kind of tweaking the positions and formatting and whatnot. But that is what I had to discuss. What is in the land of administration size, Lexi? Yes. Or if someone wants to bring something up. Excellent. I'm going to mark that as unread so I know to check it. Mm-hmm. See, I'm just going to look around to see if they're anything else, because they might be.
You should also just double check to make sure you can actually access that link, because when I clicked it, I couldn't.
Really? It's in the adventure folder. Let's look through this.
Actually, hold on. It might be on my end.
Yeah, your email is listed as a editor, so it might just be on your end.
That's weird. I guess I just wasn't logged in on this browser. That's my bad.
It's all good. Yeah, and in the
Try
the
it
folder.
again. I'm setting it to anyone with link.
Yeah. I would be careful with that. Although, actually, with these particular rules, this entire folder is something that we'd want players to see, so that's fine, actually. Because, I mean, they're rule documents that players can, use.
Yeah, no, sorry, like it was on my end. Even though this browser said I was logged in with Google Docs, it just wasn't accessing it for some reason. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember something else. I've been going through the classes, just giving them their categorizations, which I haven't added anything that Sky has already done from the ability categorizations in the Syrik rules folder, but I've been, steadily going through them and being like, plop, that's their type of ability. So we know if they can be counterspelled or if they are resistant to magic and so on and so forth. And I think for the most part, though, unless I'm brain farting up the wazoo, which could very well be the case, that is everything of note. My end. Yeah, because I've been using the mission structure, been testing out that system pretty heavily. It's going decently fine. I don't think there's any tweaks I need to make for it, so the numbers are all lining up where I want them. Oh, yeah, no, I do need to tweak the numbers for downtime leveling up. That needs to be changed. But that's fine. Downtime is on my to-do list for this week. And terms of this section. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of lore.
Alright, on the general side of things, I've got drafts for GM and staff stuff done, with a few points to bring up here for discussion. First off, the hard definitions for Game Masters is set now as full-time is expected to run 3 sessions per IRL month, or take on and determine sessions with a static group to maintain their role. Upon first joining, they've got a 4-week grace period before entering their first active month, but completing 3 sessions within the grace or first month combined grants them their character slot benefit. The other 2 benefits I currently have listed are GM XP and GM Gold, which are up for discussion after this.
First part, yes. Second part, definitely up for discussion. It is a solid recap of where we stand. Any thoughts from the team on those potential rewards?
I think that's mostly what we had been going with for the last couple months, even when we like rewrote the expectations way back when. So
Yeah.
I'm still in favor of them.
Mm-hmm.
No issue.
Yeah, I think in terms of nailing it down, since there won't be any issues with it's not stated thus far for these potential rewards. I think a good guideline for these rewards should be based upon the mission's level itself. So, like, if you're running a 5-6 mission, you'd gain experience based off of that. With a cap of some form, just because if you're running a level 1920
Next
mission,
part I have
1.
on this document is part-time game masters. They have no expectation to consistently run games, but are trained and capable of running games within the living world at their leisure. Missions need to be approved by a region head or the adventure team for inactive regions, but in general are considered officially within the setting. They do not gain the constant benefit of a character slot, but rather gain them per session. Speaking of rewards, that's actually very close to what I have written here.
That's fairly spot on for what we have for part-time.
So GMXP, let me copy-paste this over.
Yeah, I think the best setup for GM experience would be taking from the easy column of milestones, depending on the type of mission. If it's like a super intricate, like spy mission, we might boost that, but for the most part, easy is
No, my
pretty solid.
counsel.
Yeah, with the way that experience works with the milestone system, that will probably never level anyone up in the mid to high
Here is
range.
for GMXP to be a way to catch up,
Yeah.
not overtake.
Indeed.
I need to review how milestones are going though to properly figure out the numbers.
Yeah, let me just link that there. I'm gonna post that into general as well. So there's the milestone. So I think we definitely don't want it to overtake. So I think the easy column is the best column to fit, based upon the level of play, and then perhaps a cap of some sort, or maybe a half of the easy column. So at a level 1 2 mission, you'd be gaining 1 experience for it. But at level 7
Gold
8, you
thing
gain
I'm
4.
less iffy about, because a fraction of the base mission gold reward will scale with the missions difficult already. All we really need to tweak is the ratio maybe.
Yeah, gold definitely seems fine with that setup. I mean, we already have in this document that I linked wealth rewards for the mission, so that one's pretty easy clap settings, and we're good to go. And I think 10% is fine. I don't think we need to go anything higher than that unless people have alternate opinions in that regard. Simply because if you look at it, for example, if you're running a mission for 5 players, and those players are in a mission that has 3 milestones, you're looking at. Let me just do the quick math here. 750 gold. So, 750 gold. It would be the mission's indicated mission reward. 10% of that is 75 gold, which, considering the system itself, for the most part, is, especially early game, based on a silver system. It's not bad.
Should it be the cumulative gold value of the wealth and loot rewards combined between all the players, or just the wealth rewards combined?
If it's cumulative, definitely 10%. If it's not, where it is just the wealth reward cap, I would say it can go higher, maybe like up to 25%, but that's, got some wiggle room there. Any thoughts on this?
Only thing I had to say about it is in grows the XP, which is something we had talked about before, and that GMs do not need catch-up XP if they're actually playing in games, because it was obviously always intended to catch people up, and at least in the old system, you were very easily able to just jump to level 9 by
Yeah,
running
we'll
games and
jangle the
playing.
numbers around, but I think for ease we could do 25% of one player's wealth and loot reward combined.
25% of one player. I mean, that could, that's easy clap right there. In terms of the experience, I mean, it's definitely, we shouldn't have problems since we're making sure that our player population fits the number of DMs we have. I don't think it will be an issue. The only thing that would cause issues would be funky schedules, which we have part-time DMs to help with that. Which is kind of why I'm going into the land of, I think that the easy column would be the best one. And for your knowledge, Lexi, since you seem to be a little, you need to catch up on the milestone system again, since it has been months since we've released this. On average, you need to complete about 10 milestones of a mixture between medium, hard, and deadly. On average, just hard milestones to level up. So easy, you would need to do double that to level up. So with your current 1 experience up to 4, that one definitely is nowhere near the level of what you're looking at. And that is based upon the level of play. So if you're running a 1 to 2 mission, you might need to do 10 hard. Or if you're running like level 7 to 8, 10 hard of 1 to 2, nowhere near the same as 10, 7, 8. So I might have made it actually focused on easy, medium, hard, not medium, hard, deadly. I'd have to look at the actual numbers above, but yeah, on average, I made sure that about 10 milestones leveled you up. Which has been working
Yeah, that's
so far this
roughly
far.
the MV equivalent. Main intention there is just GMXP that scales with the mission that's being run, a bonus for completion, and then the amount that can be converted is restricted by real time and reduced by missions the character plays in.
Okay. Definitely we'll need to restrict them, but that's already a rule set in place wherein they cannot play in a region that they are main DM of. I think another option, which kind of combines your version and my version, would be to keep it with the higher levels of experience that people can gain. Would be taking the design mission level and giving them the higher number of that mission level. So if you're running a 9-10 mission, they'd gain 10 experience for the game compared to that would be a tier 3 mission, I believe, which would be 3. That way they still gain a proper number of experience. And we can set the cap being based upon their player character level. So if their character is like level 5 to 6, their cap would be 6. Any thoughts on that? All right. What else do we have on the docket? Well, they type up their next message, I'm just gonna...
Should work. Main thing I just wanted to make sure of here is that the concept works, with it being limited with the real-time cap and reducing permission played. Let me grab the next bit.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going through the stream and scrolling down through the milestone page, so that's on it. So people can get a look at the most up-to-date version of it. Suddenly make that chart. Oh well. Alright. Oh yes, one of the things I was going to work on, I know that we have the bounty system that you've been working on. I was going to kind of build that into the reputation system, but I wanted to get with the whole team to discuss it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially since it kind of ties into influence.
I don't have anything new for Deliver yet. Still working on stuff. I've been extremely busy with work stuff.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and one of the other things on my docket right now, which is still a work in progress, very, very work in progress, would be the crimes of punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you have that for Dolitor, so that's...
I got some laws. I'm planning on making a. I saw based on the one lore, there's like a satelic mushroom, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna make like basically a wine on that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I need to make an item on that still.
Mm-hmm. Many of the folk on that island do enjoy imbibing. Well, really.
Well,
A lot of...
I
you
would
would want to
imagine
get
so.
you would want to get drunk too when your entire island is hellhole.
Yeah. Some psychedelic shit right there.
Mhm.
Let's see. That's weird. That's not showing up on the World Anvil. I know I added that. Pantheons, cult patrons. Okay, no, I'm just putting at it. I didn't reload. Okay. The patrons page does have a decent number of patrons now listed, so I'll continue to be adding to it. Probably should have most filled out within a couple weeks, depending on how much free time I have. All right. Big thing. Completely forgot about this. I knew I was forgetting something. War and I, we had our discussion for tech stuff. that's, in the works now. You can, any updates in that regard now, Aura?
Not really. I'm currently, even right now, reading through documents and stuff to get myself up to date and up to speed on all this stuff that's I'm going to need to work with.
Gotcha,
Right
gotcha.
now, I'm reading like the experience tables on the mission structure because I might as well have those tables implemented in the ledgers so I can have less points of failure by tying everything to the actual XP amount. Yeah. So yeah, just reading, figuring things out.
Yep. Doing research sounds good. But yeah, as an update, tech's, progressing. We have had the meeting. How goes training side of things? Imagine we're still pretty lax in terms of how many are actually signed on right now. Once we open up, I imagine that'll burst pretty quickly. But
Nope, Duke is still the last one.
Yep.
Which Duke is under Sky, so
Mhm.
anyone who wants to let go immediately goes into pod.
Mhm.
Outside of that, pretty much it. The other person is still debating if they can do it or not.
Okay, following up on the big to-do list. We now have a central mechanics document which currently only has the Tasha's review. I'll look into formatting that at some point, but we can move any and all custom Syrik rules into there and then gradually organize them into sections for public use. Nerp and Wara talked about the launch economy and ledger systems. We'll make a bunch of ledgers and spreadsheets to get ready for whenever that starts. I actually dug up one of the old Bot Desires documents which I'll pass over to Wara later in case that helps as a reference.
Sure.
Core Pantheon and patrons still needed mechanics at last check. How many gods still need mechanics currently?
Let's see here. And Pantheons, deities of Kydrin. We need 7 deities that need to be filled out for launch. I know at least 3 of those are already in progress, and I just need to finish them up and put them on World Anvil. So, not too much of an issue there. In terms of the cult patrons, a lot of them are in progress in a doc that I'm working on that's actually currently open. And for the most part, I just need to finish their blurbs and put them in there. They are much less work intensive than the deities, so they don't take as much time to actually finish. So in terms of those things, even though it looks like we have a decent amount still left to do, it's really like just a week of proper work, like full on just like focusing on them, and then they're done. And that's dependent on if I.
4 gods not mechanically worked on then, right? Could you post the names, so if anyone's interested they can take a gander since it's a launch marked thing?
Sure. Let's see here, and the ones that are already prepped would be that one, okay. So those are the deities that are still a work in progress. 3 of those are tied to another deity, so a lot of their lore is kind of like interconnected there, and they like a sort of work in progress. I believe those ones would be Kaudentu, Narahethi, and Shayasen. So, other than that, yeah, they're open game. There is another deity, and I actually think there's a few deities that are on here that we already have documents for, such as Ardor. I just need to put onto the World Anvil. It's Ardor. Pretty sure there's one other. Yeah, it's fine. Anything beyond that initial base pantheon, though, those are additional deities that exist. They can be worshipped, but they're not. We need to have these for launch. They're very much like obscure deities or very specific pantheons within a specific subgroup.
Are the lore parts for these 7 on World Anvil or nothing on them at the moment?
Nothing on them on the moment for World Anvil now. That said, the 3 I mentioned, a lot of them are tied to, I believe, Hiku. Maybe Idun. I'm pretty sure it's Hiku though. I'd have to actually bring up the page and read through it to make sure, but so a lot of their lore is kind of like tied into them. So if you look at them, you can kind of see where they're going. And in terms of the patrons, actually a decent number of them are beings that already exist. So like they're beings within mythology, so they're pretty easy to just grab and plop on over. Such as Dagon. Yes. Let's see here. Pretty sure. Okay, some of the other side documents, I still need to add a world anvil, such as the pet rules. I just noticed that's on the board, and I indeed have not made it on there yet. So some small things they're already made. Just need to put them on a world anvil. In addition to that,
Now that we've somewhat figured out what economy and trading documents we'll need at launch, once we get those made in the Google folder, I'll poke you for a sit down to talk about how many different errata documents we want. There's the central one, which is for general game mechanics and rules, and that can link out to specific systems like downtime, influence, XSU magical categorization, so on.
no problem. Message me whenever. I will answer when I can, indeed. In terms of the central reference document, I think for the most part, just the core one with a few specific categories, because we do have some features that are particularly bloaty in terms of content, and we can just have those linked within the central reference document. But shouldn't be too difficult. Let's see here. Yeah, that's done. I'm just looking at the Trello board. How is the encounter table for Doladur?
I've got it half filled. I just need to make the stat blocks for it.
Okay. This needs some monsters.
I can link you the your. Oh, do you want me to post it, or do you want me to just send it to you through?
You can send it to me.
Okay, I'll send you what I got so far.
Sounds good. I've been doing a lot of monster work, so
Yeah.
I'll help work on some monsters myself. It helps because all my missions need monsters, so as I'm running games, I'm actively helping this project. Huzzah.
Yeah.
But that seems, if that one's like most part done, that's pretty close to being finished. The central reference document, that one's definitely work in progress. I would say the organization's pretty solid. Yep. Teleportation network system. I literally just need to put it on the page and it's ready. I feel like a paragraph and then we're good. Norting Creation Department. That's just an open-ended blurb. Open-ended blurb. That one's for the most part done. This part done. Work in progress. Constantly being worked on. So that one's really probably never ever going to not be a thing on
I
our
think
Trello.
anything that pertains to actual gameplay mechanics or homebrewed variations on things like skills, damage types, or ported rules from Pathfinder like damage reduction can be in the main document. And then linked documents will be living world mechanical stuff like downtime, crafting, character submission and creation, so on. The other stuff that should be linked off document is big lists of stuff like feats.
Definitely.
And I've been using this also, is where I've been. Oh, did that not make it shareable? Hold on. I'll fix that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's all good.
Mind the meme. Any meme names you see on there, that's going to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, this is basically like recreating a sourcebook in Google Docs LOL, so it'll be a pretty long-term project.
Definitely. For the most part, though, a lot of what we will need on the reference document, like we're not going to need to put a character class into it. We'll just need to have links to certain things. So. Oh my goodness. I want to roll an 85 or an 81 to 85 on your table. All right. I have concerns about number 1. Or technically under 1.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The more information accessible just from one place, the better for both players and GMS, so they don't have to dig through World Anvil's UI.
Agreed. Yeah. No. I'm the project I'm working on. I just recently converted their entire World Anvil library to a PDF. It's like 800 something pages. It's fine. It's definitely helpful to have it in one place. Mm-hmm. But looking at the Trello board, for the most part, probably can start taking some of these off. Like I'm seeing a decent amount of them that are just like, yeah, that's basically done or is done. Like the lycanthropy table that's finished, right, Sithams?
I mean, pending a final review from you, but I did add stuff based on your initial review of it.
Gotcha. So should give it another look over then, and then it can be marked off the list.
Yeah, because you asked for more like behavioral specific stuff to be put on there, which I did add. So.
Huzzah! I'm just looking through this. I'm like, EXU, SU, magical categorization. That's.
We yet are the updated naval combat rules on World Anvil.
Updated now. That one I haven't worked on. Since it's been added to the to-do list. Just been working on like the downtime, the political stuff, the monsters, and so on and so forth. As it's not as important, especially since we're playing in landlocked countries for the most part. But
that rule change is ported to World Anvil.
Yeah, what?
Go ahead, whoever that was.
I was asking what did you say prior?
Rule changes ported to World Anvil?
Rule changes, all currently up-to-date rule documents that I have are on World Anvil. In terms of, like, naval and whatnot. So those are still, definitely work in progress. And then the pets rules, that one I just need to add a World Anvil. There's a decent list of things that I just need to put on World Anvil at this point, actually. Which, if people have interest, feel free to poke me and I'll, send you some of these items. You can help put them on World Anvil. But yeah, no, like, probably cut about half of this away just from what needs to be added to World Anvil or what's already done. Because that's ready, that's ready, that's ready, that's ready. Well, most part. You can give it the review. It's ready. Yeah. Anything else of note?
Yup. Just over the week get stuff on World Anvil. We can clear out a lot of the minor bits here. And the rest is vital back-end stuff or long-term work like the central documents.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassia and Goliter factions are both good, right?
Yeah.
If they've been reviewed, I'll snap them off the Trello.
Those two are set up, I'm pretty sure.
I think we still need to do the name change, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean,
for the one.
Mm-hmm. They're basically good to go. And our Logos is also good to go. All right. With that, though, is there anything anyone would like to bring up? Anything anyone would like to discuss? Things of note? All right. Gonna see what Legacy has to say, so I feel like they're typing something up right now.
Good intuition, lol.
I'm just organizing the Trello while you do your tippy tappy.
Last thing I'd like to ask about is the regional map updates. How much flexibility do we have to mess around with the regional details at the moment to prepare for scenarios at launch, maybe? Because I'll probably get pretty in-depth while I'm working on the Eldryan cities and landscape.
So, for the regional maps, you obviously have the world map with its pretty broad generalization of what things look like. That one is set. Like, we can't, like, say, oh, suddenly there is this massive river is no longer here, it's there. These key features, they're set in place. But this map is a larger scale, so anything of higher detail. So like if you're looking at Perugia and you're like, hey, there's this swamp here next to this lake, and you want to add a forest next to that, that's fine. And like smaller details, things that one can find on a regional map rather than a world map. So yeah, anything of that nature, just let me know. That's the big thing, is if there's a region map, let me know of anything that you need to have on it when I make the region map and release it, all of your details are already on it. That's not to say that we cannot do changes as necessary during the region map, as region map itself is considered things that have been mapped out, so certain things might not be known, might not be found out
Just
about.
to have it ready before launch, definitely, yup.
Yeah, we definitely want it ready for launch.
I'm kind of under the personal opinion for like regional details and stuff. Like the topography and like details and whatnot are kind of whatever. If people need stuff for a mission, like I don't know if it's a huge deal, but more importantly, like with towns and villages and cities and stuff like that, like people should definitely feel free to just make whatever up as long as it's not as a major settlement, as we do have some of those
Leave it
listed on the
open.
map.
Let
Yeah.
people use the unexplored space.
Definitely.
Just have the major landscapes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, if you need like a settlement, a ruin, or anything like that, feel free to add it. My main thing is getting the key topographical, layouts placed on the map. Because since the region maps are going to be a 1 mile hex rather than I'm pretty sure the Kyber map is like 5 or 10 mile per hex, so it's a lot more focused. So I need to make sure certain things are properly set. But
In
even then,
landmarks and points of interest.
pretty much.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Yet I saw it listed under to do content, so wanted to see what the scope of that was.
Basically, upsizing the map in that particular region by, 5 to 10 times. And if you're like needing a river, stream, tower, whatever, feel free to add it. The region map is considered to be what is explored as of right now, with the intention of, as things are found, as things are discovered, they are added to the map. So, we as DMs know where things are located, what might change there, what might can impact it, and so on and so forth during the mission meetings. Especially if political gets involved and they start wanting to, like build a kingdom or take over a country or whatnot, then we'll definitely need to know some layouts and who's on which side and political stuff. Definitely political discussion. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Alright, Sick, think that's everything to catch up currently. Lots more stuff to grind out and prepare for this week. Just World Anvil and reviews on your end probably, but I'll definitely poke you about organizing the various rule documents.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. All right. Well, that is all we have. I'm still in the midst of updating the Trello with all the things I know that are done. But I appreciate everyone's faces, all the help you can provide, and all that good stuff, and insight and whatnot. And see you guys next week with the next meeting. Oh yeah.